Have you ever felt like your massive goals are, well, actually weighing you down? We're always told to dream big, right? But can having these towering ambitions, like the beautiful, majestic mountains you see here, can they actually make you weaker? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're looking at a completely fascinating ancient lesson that literally flips our modern obsession with motivation right on its head. Let's get right into the Samurai Guide to Beating Procrastination. We're going to break down some seriously profound wisdom from feudal Japan to show you how to shift from chasing that fleeting feeling of motivation to embracing the elegant discipline of continuous action. So if you consider yourself wildly ambitious, but sometimes, a little bit lazy, hey, don't worry. You are in the exact right place. All right, Section 1, the trap of the dreamer. Let's look at why ambition without action is fundamentally a trap. So our source material tells this great cautionary tale of Yuki. He was a young samurai with this truly beautiful vision for his life. He dreamed of becoming the absolute greatest warrior, mastering countless weapons, winning these glorious battles. But, well, there was a catch. When it came time to actually pick up the sword and train, his daily reality was quite different. He always found excuses. You know the drill. The weather wasn't quite beautiful enough, or he convinced himself he just needed to do a bit more planning. And so while his dreams kept getting larger and larger, his actual skills just completely stagnated. And younger, far more disciplined warriors quickly passed him by. Now, what's truly fascinating here is exactly why Yuki fell into this trap. Because it's actually a psychological glitch that we still face today. Think about it. When we talk about our grand plans, when we visualize these beautiful, successful futures, our brain actually rewards us as if we've already achieved those things. It's crazy. It creates this massive, dangerous gap between wanting and doing. Yuki's identity as a dreamer gave him comfort for sure, but in the end, his inaction became his downfall.
And that brings us to Section 2, the illusion of motivation. We're going to see why waiting for inspiration is essentially just a setup for failure. The samurai understood that waiting for motivation, well, it's a lot like waiting for perfectly beautiful weather before you start a long journey. You might honestly end up waiting forever, while other people who are willing to walk in the rain, just pass you by. As the old wisdom goes, dreams without action quietly waste time, and time once lost can never be reclaimed. When our goals get bigger, they seem further away, and that leaves us feeling totally paralyzed. We tell ourselves we're just preparing, right? But actually, scratch that, we're really just drifting further away from the work that actually matters. To really see the alternative, let's contrast your typical dreamer with one of history's absolute greatest swordsmen, Miyamoto Musashi. Now, the dreamer waits for a sudden, magical burst of inspiration to completely transform their life. But Musashi? No way. He relied on the quiet, steady rhythm of daily repetition. He knew for a fact that greatness isn't built in these dramatic, beautiful flashes, but in steady, humble devotion to the craft. Every single day. And here is the absolute crucial point that we usually get entirely backwards. Motivation is not the spark that creates action. It is the flame that follows it. We always think we need to feel inspired to act, don't we? But the reality is, action itself creates momentum, and that momentum produces the energy that we mistake for inspiration. The people who achieve the most, they aren't magically inspired every day. They're simply the ones who take action even when they absolutely don't feel like it. Which perfectly transitions us into Section 3, the way of small improvements. Let's break down how to achieve true mastery through tiny steps. So how do we actually apply this when we're just feeling totally lazy? Well, the samurai captured the solution beautifully in the principle of Kaizen Nami. That means continuous small improvements through steady repetition. They taught that a massive, beautiful mountain like Fuji is climbed just one step at a time. You don't get there by staring up at the majestic peak and wishing you were already at the top. Even if the steps you take seem incredibly small, they lead to profound strength simply because they are repeated. Picture a surprisingly lazy samurai student. Instead of doing some grueling, multi-hour workout, he chooses to practice just one single, elegant sword form each morning. Just one. His friends might literally laugh at the tiny effort, but watch what happens over time. The movement becomes completely automatic. His technique naturally sharpens. His body grows stronger. Until finally, boom, a rock-solid foundation for mastery is built. He used tiny, compounding efforts to leap right ahead of all the dreamers. And this brilliantly illustrates a point made by Yagyu Munenori. He was a legendary samurai teacher, and he summed this up flawlessly. He said, "The sword that waits for perfect conditions never leaves its sheath." Think about that. If you wait for the beautiful, perfect moment where you have total energy and zero distractions, you might just be waiting forever.
Moving right along to a deep internal shift. This is section 4, discipline over emotion, moving through resistance and fear.
Why do we constantly crave motivation anyway? Well, our source material reveals something super interesting. It's often just to mask for fear. Yeah, we fear the discomfort of starting, but true strength is the ability to act when conditions are absolutely not perfect. Discipline isn't about magically avoiding feelings of fatigue or only going for a walk when the sun is shining beautifully. No, it's about feeling that storm, feeling that resistance, and choosing to walk straight through it anyway.
I absolutely love this warrior mindset right here. Listen to this. I am not controlled by my feelings, I am guided by my commitments. Just think about how incredibly powerful that is. Strength doesn't mean waking up and saying, "Oh, I feel like doing this today." True strength means looking at a hard task and saying, "I am going to do this, whether I feel like it or not." It literally removes the emotion from the equation entirely. Real game changer. So how do we actually bring this ancient wisdom into our modern, chaotic lives? Let's get into section 5, the power to act, shifting your mindset today.
Okay, here is your samurai playbook for today. First step, begin with small daily actions. Seriously, no matter how insignificant they might seem to you right now, just start. Second, do not wait to feel ready. Readiness is completely an illusion, and it's an illusion that's robbing you of your time. And third, trust in habits over emotion. Our emotions are super fleeting, but habits build the beautiful, enduring foundation of literally all achievement. We have seen firsthand how dangerous the trap of the dreamer really is, and how small, steady steps are what actually forge true mastery. So I want to leave you with this final, lingering question. Take a look at your own goals. Will you continue to wait around for motivation, or will you build your momentum today? The power to shape your life is entirely in the action you take next. The choice is yours. Thank you so much for exploring this with me. Now go out there and take that first step.